a fire rocket lighting up the night. Gonna soar higher, reaching new heights. Ooh, he's on a roll. Whoa, got to reach gold.
Hey, Heroclix land. Welcome back to Talkn Clix. As always, I'm your host, Wespool. With me is my faithful partner, Scott, from the Johnson & Johnson family. And today's a special episode with our first international broadcast with our guest, Emily. Hello, Emily. Scott just got back from a very long work trip. He drove 20 hours home and still wanted to do this broadcast. So thank you, Scott, for joining the sweatshop with me.
Yeah, no problem. I wanted to get back in action.
So, Emily, how are you doing tonight?
And right, so off of work, this is a good thing.
Your audio cut out for just a second there. You're doing good?
I'm good. It's the weekend.
Okay.
So, no work, so that's always good.
So, Emily, you hail from our friendly neighbors in North Canada, correct?
Sure do. From Toronto.
What's it like for you? Because most of the Heroclix community is American based, with Canada being a second, and then kind of spread out. What is there kind of a culture difference as far as Heroclix players go for you?
Really, similar to the U.S., how each region in the U.S., you have your own play style and your own, it's different when you play with different people from different places. And because I've traveled so much for Clix, I can see those differences. So Canadian tends to have a little bit of a weird meta where people kind of like to try and do some of their own things that aren't quite as copy-paste as what a lot of people are doing. But, there's still, of course, the strong pieces that everybody kind of gravitates to.
I know that with a lot of the international players, they're not as readily able to get the newest product. Does that affect Canada much?
So it comes and goes. So sometimes we get it perfectly on time, same as you guys, and then sometimes we're way behind or we don't get quite as much. Like my local store, we didn't get any Collector's Trove chase boosters, but we've gotten Spider-Verse and Smash and Destroy. But, so it's kind of weird, and my local store only got 3 of the Kooky Quartets, so I had to go to a different store to get the Kooky Quartets. And even though my store ordered like a full case because he knew everybody was going to want it, we only got allocated 3. So it's up and down.
So how long have you been playing Heroclix? How'd you get started?
Started in about 2014. And I think I started in a way that a lot of people probably haven't. My ex at the time, he was playing with his brother at home on the kitchen table, and his brother wanted to get his wife to play. So they were like, Emily, why don't you come play with us? And I enjoyed the game. And then we were just playing at home for that, for 6 months or so. And then my boyfriend was buying some Clix off of, I don't know if you guys know Jason or have heard of Jason and Amber Collins, who used to do Married with Clix in the Metal Lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are actually near where my local store is. And he was buying a bunch of his collection, and he came over to the house to sell it to us because we were buying a whole bunch of stuff that was retiring that Jason was selling off. And Jason's like, we play this in the store. So if you ever want to come and, actually play out at comics shops or game shops, you can play there. And then from there, I learned about the bigger tournaments and stuff. And 6 months after starting to play at the store, I went to my first Canadian Nationals. made a qualifier, made it to second day, came in last on second day. Like, let's. But I fell in love with the competitive scene. My boyfriend ended up hating it, and that's how I kind of got into actually playing the game and sticking with it.
What is your local store? Where do you play at?
So, I have two local-ish stores. So I live right in Toronto, and that we actually don't have any stores currently right in Toronto that play. I have to travel an hour and a half on public transit, an hour carpooling, either east of the city or west of the city. But I mostly play at Game Time Collectibles in Mississauga. And when Scott Porter is in town filming Jenny and Georgia, he'll occasionally come out and play with us there. So that's
Oh,
kind of
cool.
That is cool. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken a hiatus from Clix? Because 2014 is a long time to be playing.
I hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Can hear you now.
No, I love that you're a loyal player, and because a lot of players, they get fed up at certain points and just take little breaks for a couple of years. So that's really cool that you've been playing this long and still love the game.
Some little breaks is when there's no competitive events coming up. So if my store is doing mostly casual things and there's nothing I'm practicing for, I might skip a few weeks here and there. But the casual stuff yourself
Well,
there, Scott.
I'm. I feel like I have a unique ability to flip that switch. I can go from casual to competitive, and you can take a casual team and be competitive at your casual games, but you don't want to be like, oh hey, here's me stepping on your throat every week. Like, let me figure out something that's uniquely built to be competitive in a casual atmosphere.
If it's a casual event, what I'll do is I'll typically build something that's using pieces from the newest sets that I haven't played yet or seen in action yet to get a feel for what they're like on the board. So for me, it's not really about, you know, building a fun comic accurate team because I am not a comic person. It's about getting to know what the pieces do. So I'll just put something random together that I know is likely going to be crap, but it's helpful for me to know what something does on the board if I do see it in competitive. So that's what
Yeah,
casual is for me.
casual can be that for a lot of people. I mean, there are a lot of pieces that people say are trash, but every piece has a use. Whether it's a line of fire blocker or a tie-up piece, it has a use. It may not be worth its points, but it has a use.
So in the competitive scene, well, in Heroclix in general, the primary gender in the game is males. There's you and Powell, and there's a couple of other females. How have you seen the gender flow over the years? Is it do you have more female players now, or did there used to be more?
You need some Dijon.
Joke with people that if you want to find Canadian or if you want to find women players, come to Canada because we have more here. I find for the smaller. I don't think we have quite as many players in Canada that you have in the U.S. So in proportion to how many players, we have women players in Canada. There was Amber, who no longer plays, from with Married with Clix. We've got Jocelyn from Dice Station Zebra. We've got Asia from Studio Stasia, and and then they have some other a couple other women players that are casual in Ottawa. So I always joke, if you want to see women players, come to Canada, even though we don't have very many. But
More
yeah,
per capita.
yes.
So,
Go
what
ahead.
do you do outside of HeroClix? What is your occupation?
So I am an accounting clerk at a gaming hall, and I've actually worked in the same building for almost 30 years now. It'll be 30 years in September. And I've kind of gone through the phases of positions in the building where I was a break open ticket seller and a runner for bingo on the floor, and then I became like assistant manager, and then I became hall manager, and then now I flowed into accounting, and I absolutely love it. I love that my owners saw that I was really good with numbers and spreadsheets, and they were willing to kind of teach me without having gone to school for it. Um, and it's my favorite position there now. I've been doing it about since 2019, this side of it. And yeah, I've gone through three different owners in the same building who have kind of taken over the business, and they've all kept me on. And but outside of that, I love the accounting so much that I'm actually my work doesn't know this, but I'm sure they're not going to watch this. I'm going to school to get my bookkeeping certificate, and I'm taking online classes one at a time until I get there. I just started class 5, and I can't wait. I would love to eventually turn it into working for myself from home, doing some small business accounting, maybe some taxes, so that I have more um, flexibility with my life and more, doing what I want to do and more control over over everything around me. So fingers crossed.
Good for you. That's
Congratulations.
awesome. I'm not a
Thank
math
you.
guy. Just figuring out what I need to roll for an attack is hard for me.
Dog water, whatever is still acts kind of everywhere.
He's getting his dinner order ready. Since he's talking about Dijon mustard and sandwiches, what's your favorite sandwich?
I really, really like a fried egg sandwich with cheese. Yeah.
Ketchup on eggs?
It depends how I'm feeling. Usually not, but there's the occasional time where I feel like it, and I'll put it, and it suits the moment, but not usually.
Is the stereotype of Canadians being so nice, is that true, or is that just over fabricated thing?
Can I answer? Everything you know about Canada is made up. Like they don't have floppy heads. We can't blame them for all the world's problems, and not all of them are nice. But they're overall probably nicer than the northeastern people.
A lot of nice and people that get along, but yeah, there's definitely people who are not. And I find when I come to the US and visit and see all you guys, it feels very similar to being at home. It doesn't feel all that different.
Just hotter.
I remember
Yes.
my first vacation with my family. We drove down to Florida, and uh, the further south we got, the nicer people were at restaurants and truck stops, and I was like, man, people in Indiana are jerks.
So at your local venue when you're playing, how many average players do you think you have?
Get a good, you know, 6 to 8 on a regular, and then if it's something like a pre-release or release, we'll get anywhere from 15 to, I've seen 18, 20 sometimes if it's bigger.
That's a good turnout.
How often do you make it down to the states for events? What are your big ones you can't miss every year?
Miss every year has always been the Florida one in January, Champion Clix Open, the Rock Cup, Heroclix for Huntingtons, and Worlds. Those are my three. I just and I'm feeling really crappy and sad about having missed this weekend. It just, I don't want to get into politicky stuff here tonight, but a lot of us Canadians aren't feeling great about crossing the border right now. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed the world can, calm down, and I can feel good about that again, because I'm really missing the traveling for clicks. I literally spend every single vacation day I have towards clicks trips, because that's how much I love this community and hanging out with this community. So it's a little sad that I'm not right now, but I'm glad that Steve and Asia at Studio Stasia have uh, created a Chase Booster event that I'm going to go to in a couple weeks, and they just announced that they're going to be doing Canadian Nationals at the beginning of August. So I'm glad I have some things local-ish that are. It's about a 4 or 5 hour drive to them, but something to big events to look forward to. So
Now, you have a son, correct?
I do. He's going to be 28 next month.
Does he play Heroclix?
So he didn't, and then during the COVID lockdowns, when I was buying cases, I normally don't buy cases of product. I normally will just play in as many pre-releases and releases I can, and then end up buying like a brick and a half over playing, and then singles to fill it out. But over COVID, there was no stores to play at, so I was buying a brick, or sorry, a case of each set when it came out. And because we were so bored at home, and because I was one of the ones that was in lockdown the longest, because in entertainment it was one of the not essential ones that needed to open. We were home and bored, and he's like, "Mom, you know what? Why don't you teach me?" So with every case that came, we would play two booster sealed, and that's how we would open the case, was by playing sealed. And he's really good. He plays other games. He plays Digimon card game right now is his thing. So he understands gaming concepts, and he's really good with it, but he just has no desire to come out and play at the store. But to play sealed at home with me, anytime.
That's cool. Do you have a preferred day to play or time?
Weekend afternoons, it works perfect. I do miss the pre-COVID era where we had so many stores. I could have played when I first started playing HeroClix. I could play, I kid you not, 6 days a week. We had so many venues playing, and I would usually play like 4 to 5 of them. It was crazy, and I really enjoyed being able to go play like an evening after work. So one of the stores was a Wednesday evening. It was great because it was release day, and you could just go and you could play the day it came out. So I really liked that, and I miss that. But the weekend afternoons worked really well just with my work schedule.
In HeroClix, there is a lot of content out there for YouTube and podcasts. Do you absorb a lot of that, or are you kind of picking out which ones you listen to?
Almost all of them. I The ones that I don't view as much are the ones that are on YouTube only, because I tend to listen either while I'm on the bus on my way to and from work, or while I'm doing simple data entry stuff that I don't have to put a lot of brain power in. I'll just pop my headphones in and listen at work. So, but I listen to, I would say, 95% of them.
And how do you consume our show?
Podbean, always Podbean.
You and Mark from Australia have been like two loyal Podbean listeners since day one. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm hoping that more people choose to listen through the Podbean as well, instead of having to sit and watch us talk to each other for an hour. It's a great way to
See, I'll put it on YouTube in the car and I just listen to it. I don't have to watch it.
yeah.
Like, I'm not showing you anything special. And if you are gonna
To
watch
do
it, you
other
just go
things
back
on
to
my
video.
phone, right? But if I'm on the bus, I want to be doing something else on my phone while I'm listening. So I don't want to just have it on the screen on the
Yeah.
bus.
You can have it in the background. Phones are smart now. You have multiple apps open.
Well, we have set up the YouTube channel. You can listen to us on Podbean. We have a Patreon account, Facebook. So there's a lot of different ways that people can enjoy our content. What do you enjoy most about this show? And because you've been a subscriber since almost day one, and as this show has evolved over the last few months, what have you particularly enjoyed about it?
Getting to know the person out more than just how they are in the game, right? It's nice to know the people that you're going to be seeing and playing with at events, and when you played this long and you see them so often, they turn into actual friends. So it's nice to know more about your friends. I'll bet you a lot of the people don't know what I did for work until now you ask me, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
we celebrate the heroes of Heroclix, not just the clicks.
Yep.
Salty or sweet?
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one to choose between.
I mean,
I would say,
I go to both.
like
Like,
it's
I went
both, but
I did a 21-hour drive from Cleveland, Ohio to Houston, Texas, and I had both snacks. I probably did the sunflower seeds more than the sweets, but that just helps me stay awake while I'm driving. A background mental focus.
for sure. I would say now I'm more salty than sweet, but if you had asked me 10 years ago, it would have definitely been sweet. I think my palate's just changing as I'm getting older.
Okay, how about a brownie? The crunchy edge or the gooey center?
Definitely the edge.
Yeah, they make pans for those because they're more gooder.
They do.
And that's proper English. More gooder.
Sure is. It's Emily speak. It's I understand it perfectly.
Over the last week, I have started a daily poll on the Discord channel. Have you been voting on those?
I have not, but I've tried and get in on some of them when I have time.
I did a couple of them. I think I missed one or two.
I've been actually kind of really interested in the results. Some have really surprised me. 100 Heroclix players versus one gorilla. Who comes out on top?
Thing that's going over my head. I feel like this is like a TikTok or a YouTuber or something that I'm supposed to know something about, and I don't. I don't know where this reference is coming from.
It's just a popular, I don't know, thing. But I made it just instead of 100 people, it's 100 Heroclix players. So I think that skews the voting a little bit in the gorilla's favor. What is your favorite hot beverage?
I'm a tea person.
Oh, so you're one of the ones that messed up my poll.
I sure am. I can't stand coffee. I can't stand coffee.
Now I'll drink room temperature drinks. Milk is good. Tea is good. Coffee's good. Soda. Anything room temperature is fine. Water.
So a funny story about myself, and drives my family crazy is that they think that carbonated beverages like pop, soda, whatever you want to call it. What do they call pop in Canada? Pop? Okay.
It's called Coke here.
Yeah, everything's Coke in Texas. I drink my pop room temperature. When I was in Iraq, we had mini fridges in our rooms, but we had limited supply of beverages because we were consuming so much water because it's so hot. And people would just come to my room and just take my Cokes and my Mountain Dews and stuff out of the fridge. And one time, somebody came in my room and they're like, "Where's your pop?" I'm like, "It's under my bed. I haven't put it in the fridge yet." And they didn't take it. And I was like, "Oh, they don't take it if it's not cold." So I just started learning to drink pop room temperature, and then nobody takes my stuff.
Like I'll open up a pop soda. I like Pepsi, but I'll open it and let it go flat. I like it flat.
Emily, are you Pepsi or Coke?
For Pepsi to Coke, but I drink pop very infrequently, like once or twice a month. I'm mostly water, almost all the time water, with the occasional tea.
Okay, for both of you guys, when it comes to pop, is it can, bottle, or fountain?
Doesn't matter.
I mean, I
No
don't care
preference.
either.
I
Just give it
definitely
to me.
prefer bottle over can or fountain, but
Yeah. Pepsi and Coke in a bottle, yes. Fountain drink, I feel like I can get more out of the cup with no ice, so I'll go with that too.
my mother-in-law puts ice in her milk. Ew,
My wife does it.
gross.
And chocolate milk.
I used to put ice in my chocolate milk when I was a kid. I don't drink chocolate milk as an adult much. I just prefer my coffee.
Hot cocoa powder in coffee is delicious. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right, Emily, are you on a HeroClix team?
Um, I'm part of the JSA Clix team with the Canadians up here, and well, it's a lot of Americans now, but it was more Canadians, but yeah, part of the JSA podcast team crew. Yeah.
Are you a
Um,
better pilot or a better player? Or a better player, pilot or builder? Whatever the question is, pilot or builder?
Definitely pilot. I'm getting better at building, but I a lot of times will like pick something and start with it, and then Devin will look at it and he will say, "Okay, this will make it better. This will make it better. This will make it better." And Devin tweaks the whole thing to. And actually,
To
the
make it
current
better?
team that yeah, much better. And the current team I'm building, Devin took what I last played and was like, okay, you need to be able to take more than 25 points and stay alive. So he tweaked it a whole bunch. So, and I'm not going to say the specific team I'm playing because it's the one I'm going to be playing in a couple of weeks, but um, he just tweaked it to make it better so that I can actually take more points than 25. So, yeah.
you are considered one of the top tier meta players in competitive. Um, do you take one team and repetitively practice it over and over again from event to event, or do you just kind of rest on your laurels and just wing it going into an event?
Uh, find something I like, play it forever, tweak it as new sets come out. But I will play the same type of core team until the stuff rotates. I was forever a Vulture player. I was forever a Sam Cap Shredder player. I'm currently forever a Colossus Prime player. I was a Thanos player for a long time. I just kind of pick a thing and run with it.
Okay, so Samcap mini shredder player. What was your drop off mechanic? What piece?
Yeah, I was. Uh, it was back in ID card days, right? So it was the
Yeah, of
Cyclops or it was
course.
the Wolverine, right?
Yeah, I
It
mean that's
was
what you dropped off. That's what you had Samcap deliver. But what piece did you
always.
use to carry across the board for that alpha?
Oh, Overdrive. Oh my
Overdrive
god,
was
Overdrive.
horrible. Overdrive was
Overdrive.
horrible.
He
Pip
was
the Troll.
great.
Pip the Troll was better, and then Waldo from House of X was really really good too. But that's for like Silver Age stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But no, Overdrive. Overdrive is the
No,
best.
Pip the Troll. I'm sorry, Pip the Troll's automatic for me.
You are commonly referred to as the Queen of the North. How do you feel about that nickname?
Ooh, I got a question to tag along with that. Since you're of the north, are you on the north side of the wall, so are you a wildling? Game of
Because I
Thrones
don't get a
reference.
lot of references.
Game of Thrones reference.
Okay, sure. I'll believe you on that. I have no answer because I don't know what it's referring to. Um, so I don't mind the Queen of the North thing. It felt weird a little bit for me in the beginning, the attention of it. But I've kind of just you know just kind of go with it now.
He expects it now. Like, wait, you just called me Emily. Where's the queen part?
Queen Emily of the North. I
Yes.
definitely think it's a term of endearment. I think everybody loves you down here. I remember hearing about you long before I ever met you. Well, I didn't say we met. We played online during COVID. It's the first time I played you, and I remember feeling intimidated because everybody talked about you so much before I got to interact with you.
Because I try and be a good and fun opponent, even if I'm kicking your butt.
Which you've done that to me.
Your dice go flat so easy, Scott. I don't.
Hey,
It
I'm gonna
wasn't
roll a crit
fair.
hit. Look, you had Cthon, and I had a very well-rounded team, and We had 100+ actions or 100+ turns, I think,
We
before she
sure
finally
did.
killed me. Oh. Still, I could have got you. I could have hit.
Could have got me.
Are you superstitious? Like, do you
No,
use the
not
same
really.
dice over and over?
I do. I love my clear red Avengers dice. My locals are they hate the sight of them. that red Avenger is gonna, or that white Avenger logo is gonna come up. Yeah.
I have a question about dice. What? How would you feel if your opponent wanted to use the same set of dice, roll your dice, or you use their dice? Would that be cool?
In fact, I've had people in Florida. Logan. Every opponent was like, "It's so weird. He was using my dice," and I was like, as soon as he asked me to use mine, I was like, "Yep, go for it." Like, you can. I don't.
Because
I believe there's even a tournament rule that like says if your opponent wants to use your dice, you have to let them. Like,
yeah,
go
I
for
mean,
it.
I see that, but I've been told that I have a curse with my dice apparently, and people don't want me touching their dice. So they're like, "You're not using my dice. Here, I'll bring out extra dice that you can use." I'm like, "That's not what I want to do. I want to use this one set of dice on the table. Let's go. That way, it's the same." But
Any you can use mine.
How do you feel about Miles Kane's dice popper
pop
thing?
dice.
Laugh. That you can't get to like the shake with it though. That's like.
Nah, but it's so annoying. That popping noise is annoying.
Yeah, even just watching it on stream when he went at Adepticon, when I was watching the stream, it's so loud, like bang, bang, bang. It's worse than a dice cup, I think.
Are you a table dicer, dice tray, or cup dice?
Ice tower.
Oh, no, table, just table.
Hey. Hey. What was Garlic's favorite Nelly song? It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. Hey. Hey. What do Timon and Pumbaa order at Italian restaurants? The tuna piccata. Hey. Hey. Why do stormtroopers only have iPhones? Because they couldn't find the androids they were looking for.
Now that Beetlejuice has been out for a minute, where do you stand on the big bad Beetlejuice?
It's just thing you have to build around and know he's there, and it would be nice if they put some limitations like within a certain range or something that wasn't completely map wide. But you know, I'm one of the people that, you know, when I make a team, I make my little cheat sheet off to the side that reminds me of, you know, beginning of game, beginning of turn, you know, remember to do these things. And at the bottom, I put a whole list. Okay, your team can do these things with Beetlejuice on the board. They are not free. You can make a butterfly pog. You can, you know, you can do these things that aren't frees that you can do with things that will stop you. So I specifically make myself notes to remember what I'm allowed to do if a Beetlejuice comes out.
Just kill him. He's 100 points that you score.
Yeah. If they keep him on the board. A lot of people I
you-
know I've seen play that they bring him out for the turn and then he goes at the end of the turn. They don't
So
keep
it's
him
just
out.
affecting.
So
It's just affecting them then.
yeah, exactly.
Do you plan on returning for a future event, like Red, White, and Clix?
Few things, right? It would depend on if I feel comfortable crossing the border again, if I can get time off of work and finances, right? The typical things that yeah. But I'd like to.
Would you consider yourself a more aggressive or defensive player?
Depends on the team, right? Because if I'm doing something like a Sam Cap Shredder, a Vulture, that's going to
Obviously
be
aggressive.
super aggressive. But when I was doing Thanos, it was very defensive between all kinds of checkerboard barrier stuff happening that was super defensive, and my current team that I'm playing with is also defensive. And my Colossus team was even defensive. I played it not with an aggressive Colossus in your face, more back behind some body blocking daredevils. So
A little bit of
depends on
both.
the team.
I love it.
A
I
little
love
bit
it.
of both. I think that makes me a better player, right? Of being able to see
Yes,
both sides of things and,
absolutely.
learning
So
what to expect each way.
that's gonna pull me back to your practicing. Whenever you practice, do you ever practice against your own build?
Not really. Not really. When we practice, a lot of times we just like right now we because we don't have a local store. Us a couple of us in Toronto will go to Devin's house, once a week, and we'll practice there. So me, Mike, Devin, Andrew will all go to Devin's house and practice, but we will, especially if there's only three of us, the one we're watching will help give tips, and we play the game super slow where everybody's kind of helping each other of what they see that you could do. And yeah,
I mean,
we have
that's
some
that's
great times
cool.
of
I
practice.
I do like practicing against my team. That way, I can see how people will approach it, so
Hmm.
I can figure out different weaknesses that I need to look for whenever I'm running the team. So, just a note: I practice
Yeah,
against your own build.
interesting idea. Interesting idea.
Do
And
you?
then I guess, and if somebody else is piloting my build, then maybe they will do
They can
different
see
moves than
something
I
that you
would
don't know.
do. Yeah, they would maybe do a different move or a different thing. That's an interesting idea. Yeah,
Do you still use Roll20?
very rarely now. Yeah, very rarely.
I still like what it brings to the game. The fact that uh, Scott and I are half a country apart, and he's still giving me advice and look at my team, and we can roll with each other. It doesn't have the same feel, obviously, as in-person play, but it opens up options for practicing that when I'm stuck in the middle of a cornfield in Indiana, that I wouldn't have otherwise.
So I like the mapping aspects of it and the placement, how it helps you with placement. And to me, that's a big part of this game is the placement.
Yeah.
And then you can also work on your timing or how your mechanics work together. So it can be a very useful tool, but it's still not throwing the dice or the pop cup or whatever you want to have.
Some of that where I will just stick my team in and see, okay, where am I positioning everybody and how I'm doing my first move to put everybody in position. I'll use Roll20 for some of that, but not for playing.
Speaking of which, Scott, I need to practice with you this week, so let me know when you have time.
Yes, I will do.
What is the proper way to open a booster?
Be right back.
From the just put it in and it comes right out. It's so easy.
Right here or the
Yeah.
bottom?
The
Which
bottom.
one? The bottom is the best way because there's
No,
one
The
piece of
bottom. You
tape.
push.
it's
You don't even have to
blasphemous.
like. You just push it in. You just push it in,
And it
and the
opens.
tape comes. Yes, the bottom.
No, it's
Two pieces on the
blasphemous.
top. Two pieces on the top. Not easy. You gotta fight it.
Not easy.
You got
I mean,
get your knife in and cut it open and open it like a Christmas
okay.
present.
Okay. Which is the proper way to use a knife? Where you're gonna cut yourself? No, you're supposed to push the knife away. Not smart. No leverage. Just push the bottom of the tape in.
I agree. Bottom.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you.
When you open a brick, do you start from one side or the other, or do you just kind of randomly grab boosters?
Getting the bricks at home, the cases at home, it was just kind of random, whatever. And at the store, when we play any type of sealed, um, we actually the organizer will open everything and mix it all up in the case. So
Oh,
we have
that's
no
that's
idea which.
horrible. Then somebody gets two chases. That's horrible.
Yeah, we mix it all up.
That's just making somebody get two chases possibly.
Um, what do you think about iconics? How do you feel about where they're going with the iconics and all the different intellectual properties that they're involving?
property itself, I could care less what they come out with. I'm more of a I don't read comics. I don't play D&D. I don't do any of the things that they're trying to advertise is not for me. I just, what does the dial do? Do I like it? I will get it. And in fact, even if I don't like what the dial does, I will buy it because you don't know if it's going to connect with something later that's coming out.
So you don't like the cryptids? The Battle Gnome, Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, or the Jersey Devil? Still, no?
They're okay.
Nothing?
They're fun.
Kong?
What it is on the dial, I could care less what it is. Right? The guys that I play with joke that you could give me just a flat dial with stats and no figure on it, and I would be happy and I would be fine.
We've had those. Despotilus, Ant-Man.
Yep.
Shrinking Violet.
Now that Smash and Destroy is out, what are you building with on your team from that set?
Anything on the team from Smash? I have the Destroyer armor. What else? Yay! Am I building with anything else? We're sort of looking at the Chase Cap. There's some interest there. But yeah, pretty much Destroyer armor.
Freya.
I have a Freya. She's interesting. Yeah, I do have her. I picked her up. Yeah.
And then Green Scar.
Yeah, or maybe Legacy Juggernaut as well. He looks interesting to me.
Going into Worlds, we're expecting to lose a lot in rotation. What are you... I mean, we don't have the full list, but we can pretty much have a good guess of what we're going to be losing. What are you going to miss most after rotation?
Because I've been playing the heck out of him.
What was that?
Colossus. Prime Colossus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, motorcycles.
I mean, it's ready. It's ready for him to go, right? It's ready.
I'm ready for Cathan to go, even though he hasn't seen any play in Silver. Because he's banned.
Yeah, maybe the gods.
Are you guys going to miss the motorcycles?
And...
I know Miles is going to miss his motorcycle.
Yes, Miles will definitely miss the motorcycle. I do use the motorcycle quite often as well. Much more over the health cycle. I use the motorcycle a lot more, especially on Colossus. Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen with trick arrows when we lose more than half the arrows that you can use?
They're still useful.
They're still good.
I did have a couple of community questions for you. My friend Jay says, when you are on a boat, do you prefer to row it or use a motor?
Of course, Jay had to come in with his joke of, for those of you who are only hearing him say it, Roet is how my last name is pronounced. So he's doing a play on my last name, which I find is hilarious.
Good old Jay.
But yeah, we'll say Roet. I think that's the only way I've been in a boat was, canoeing or something. I've never been on a motorboat, so I'll say rowing. Go with my last name. Why not?
How cold is it in Canada right now?
It's not. It's warm.
Not.
We have a bit of a breeze, but
Cleveland's just south of the lake. And then there's Canada. And it was 80 plus degrees in Cleveland.
Have you been following...
15 degrees today, whatever that means to you.
Have you been following the rock event this weekend?
I actually have it on in the background on my TV. Some of the stream.
Oh, wow.
I've been watching as I can. Yeah. Rooting for some of my friends that are playing. Yeah.
Go Minks.
Yes. Yes. He was in top 8. I don't know if he's made it into top 4 or not. Because we've been chatting. So.
Why do you think that you are known as one of the nicest players in Heroclix? Is it just the Canadian thing, or are you really as nice as everybody says you are?
Nice and kind and friendly, and I feel like that comes across to people and helpful, and it's part of my nature. I'm very much a pacifist, and everybody get along, and you know proactive about keeping things that could get confrontational not confrontational, and it's part of my personality of who I am.
Now you said that you don't read a lot of comics. Are you a superhero fan, or are you just like the mechanics of the game?
I just like the mechanics of the game.
You wouldn't care if it's
Yeah,
My
I
Little
don't.
Pony gals.
I wouldn't care what it was, genuinely. I mean, and I've never read a comic in my life. I have no desire to read comics in my life. I do enjoy some of the movies and TV shows, so those I'll watch. But yeah, I
So
can't
why
get
was
into the comic
WandaVision good?
ones. I enjoyed it.
Episode
I
4.
enjoyed it, but I
Episode 4 was good.
some
Which one's
I
for?
enjoyed the whole thing. I enjoyed.
Where it came around to say this is why she's going through these little time slips and differences of the
Oh,
TV
yeah.
shows. Episode 4 paid off, and then the final episode.
I enjoyed it. I did, but me, I don't know any background comic stuff to know where things are coming from or where they're going. It's all a surprise to me. But I also have a weird thing with my brain where I don't like retain the whole like what happened in each episode or what happened over the movie. I just walk away remembering the feeling of if I enjoyed it or not. So I can rewatch something a year from now and most of it's fresh in my head. It's a strange thing I do where I genuinely don't remember most of it.
So when
Yeah.
Scott Porter's doing his unboxing videos, do you just like fast forward through his little jibber jabber about what's going on in the comics, background story, or is it just background noise?
Listen to it. I listen to it. And in
Yeah, you
fact, a lot
listen
of
to it.
my I listen to it. Do I retain any of the information? Probably not. But a lot of my locals will do the same thing when we're carpooling and, they're talking about source material of stuff. And, I still remember this one time I was carpooling somewhere with Mike to to an event, and he said something about Robin, and I, made a comment about a Robin, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that was that Robin." I'm like, "What do you mean that Robin?" And he's like, "Oh, there's been multiple Robins." I'm like, it like blew my mind. I had no idea that there was more than one Robin. Like,
Yeah, read
yeah,
their real name on the card.
yeah, I don't bother. Real name isn't a thing anymore, right? It used to be with ID cards and stuff, but it's not a
I
thing
mean,
anymore.
it's
So
still on there.
still on there.
I'm amazed at how often the real name is various. There's a lot of various real names.
That's for the generic
Yeah.
figures. There'll be a
Some of
game
them not
coming up
so
on that.
generic. And they're still like, we don't know.
Unknown is a thing.
Yeah. Um, what is something that's, because I know in different regions, words are pronounced differently and there's different words for certain things. What is a word that always makes you laugh that we say differently in America versus Canada?
I can think of one. If I can think of one.
Okay, what's Canada's greatest export? Is it Ryan Reynolds? Is it Canadian bacon?
Kevin Bacon?
See, now you're talking celebrities again.
You know who Ryan Reynolds is. Come on.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Well, one of my favorite parts of this show is the Clix questionnaire. And as a loyal listener, you know what the Clix questionnaire entails. It's a scientifically proven AI generated questions to get to really know the heart and soul of the player. Are you brave enough to answer these questions? What is your most proud Heroclix achievement so far?
Playing 100 rounds with me and
I
winning.
know. Yes, that's it. I know most people are going to expect me to say, winning Canadian Nats or winning it twice kind of thing, but I actually remember in great detail of emotion the first time I won a WKO. You're right, and that was the Sam Cap Shredder team, and it was my first time ever winning any type of event. And that was back in the times when you had to win a WKO to have a qualifier into Canadian Nats. And I had won that qualifier for the very first time that I was going to a Canadian Nats that I didn't have to qualify. But because of the month that I won it in, it was actually for the next year of Canadian Nats and not the one that we were about to play in a month. Just like it was, it was strange the way that it lined up that I won for the following year, um, but I still remember how proud I felt of that very first win. Even though it wasn't the biggest, it still sticks with me.
It's a big step to take. I mean, I remember my first WKO win, and that was with a Sam Cap mini shredder team. So,
Yep.
I mean, it's amazing to get that big W. My first big win had to be Louisiana State Championship, and it was just wow. I didn't even go to win this thing. I just went to play and not lose because it's a 5-hour drive. I didn't want to drive 5 hours and get beat up, and then I won the thing. I'm like, wow, okay, I'm not half bad at this.
Vanilla ice cream. What do you put on top?
Extra caramel.
Uh, Bacon. Everything's good with bacon, right?
I think so.
Sure.
Add a power to the PAC. What are you adding and why?
I knew this question was coming from having listened to every episode that you've put out, but I genuinely don't have an answer. I'm not. I don't feel like it needs anything else, and everything's kind of covered.
I want to give someone Earthbound Neutralize like Odin does. That is a phenomenal thing from that Legacy Odin. Pass out
Sure
Earthbound
is.
Neutralize.
What is a character that has been made a lot, but well, you probably won't have an answer to this, because you don't know the source materials.
I will not.
What's your most used character?
Hard
Mindbreaker.
because I go through those pockets of. But that's a recent thing, and it hasn't even been on
Yeah.
all my builds, right?
Okay, Sam Cap.
So, probably Sam Cap, right?
Omega.
And in
So
that era
versatile,
was Sam Cap,
offensive,
and
defensive. It could do so much and help you
Yeah.
when you're just trying to get away. You just carry Sam Cap. You're like, oh, hey, here's extra movement.
Well, the first time I
Yep.
played you were super excited that I was using that old Omega 200 point figure.
yeah, I liked her. Yeah, I liked her.
Cats or dogs?
Neither. I'm not a pet person. I cannot stand animals in the least. Give me a baby to hold, so long as I can give it back now, and I'll take that any day. But I hate pets. So I know it's shocking. Somebody who's so nice and so kind hates pets. I know. But yeah, I hate pets.
Most famous person you've met?
Probably just Porter.
At the local game store, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
The local game store, which is very awesome. Yeah.
Is he really as good as people say he is at playing Clix?
He is. He kicked my butt.
That was just her being shocked. That's like, what? It's Scott Porter. No, he's a people. He's cool. I haven't met him.
Yep.
What number am I thinking of?
3
Okay,
digits.
so I have an answer for this. I know it's 3 digits because you asked him that when you interviewed him, and I think I may know the answer because you are so into dad jokes, and it's the answer to a dad joke. It's got to be 7, 8, 9. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9.
I like that, though. I
So
like
it's got to
that.
be 7, 8, 9.
But what if Yoda's telling
Am I
the joke?
right?
And
No.
No.
But I do like that answer. I like that a lot.
If it's Yoda telling the joke, it's 6, 7, 8. Just saying, Yoda will turn it all around.
That's a great answer. I like that one.
All right. I tried.
Are you Team Aquamiles or Team Wespool?
To go with Aquamiles, and only because I've hugged Miles. I'm sorry. I've hugged Miles and I haven't hugged you.
I've hugged Miles. It's nothing special.
What did you think of Miles' interview where he was extremely open and honest about his struggles and stuff?
Really loved it. I'm also a big proponent of talking about mental health and making it, less of a stigma thing. And I've been very open that I suffer from anxiety. I get anxiety like super, super bad, and therapy has helped. I've got a lot stronger, but I'm not afraid to talk openly about it in hopes that maybe somebody else will also feel that they can speak out about their own mental health. So yeah.
So I know that you're looking forward to this question because we talked about this privately. Your imaginary superhero alter ego.
So as you said earlier, people know me as Queen of the North, but my first nickname that was given to me in Clix is what I'm going to go with as my superhero, which is the Smiley Face Killer. That feels like a superhero name, the Smiley Face Killer. So we're going to go with that.
I believe
feels
that
appropriate.
is a name off of a movie. Oh my gosh, you made me look it up. I know that name, Smiley Face Killer.
Is it?
Oh my
I don't know.
gosh.
Nancy Yang started calling me Smiley Face Killer, and it just kind of stuck. So
That seems to fit. When we played online during COVID, you kicked my butt, but you were so nice about it.
I hear that quite often. Yeah, I hear that all the time.
When
It's
you
the Happy
do
Face Killer. It's a serial killer from the 90s.
really,
Is that? Yeah, Happy Face Killer.
when you do watch superhero movies, do you prefer the DC or the Marvel?
Marvel.
Who is your favorite Heroclix content creator?
Ooh. Hard. Like they all have such good things about them, but if I have to pick one, I'm gonna go with my local guys, JSA Clix.
Now,
I
because
used to
you
listen to Heroclix Borderlands. I thought his stuff was really entertaining for me, and I loved his accent.
now because you listen to all the different
That one.
podcasts, which one do you really get absorb the most useful information for team building from? Because they all have different perspectives.
I focus mostly on the competitive. It's either critical clicks or clicked off, and some of JSA because there are a lot of uh, focus on that. And degeneration goes into some competitive too, so those will be my go-tos for competitive-ish side stuff.
Does Wespool ask too many questions on degeneration clicks?
No, it's fun. It's fun. They like their questions.
Well, that was the Clicks questionnaire. You've survived the scientifically proven deep throat questions. How does it feel to be fully known by the Heroclix community now?
Feels great. I'm happy that people can get to know me better. Yeah.
What color was the dress? I gotta know.
It depends which device you were looking on and in what light. I saw both.
You say so. Still black and blue.
What is the next upcoming set that you're looking forward to the most? We got the Lantern Legacy. We got the Doctor Strange
X-Men
one.
97.
X-Men
X-Men
97.
97.
Is that the only three?
Yeah, that's only 3 that I know of.
Okay.
From what they said at Worlds, they made a comment of, hang on to your rings, so, more equipment. I love equipment, so probably a legacy for the perspective of potential tons of equipment coming back.
I think that's about all the questions I had prepared for us. What else you got, Scott?
I think that's all I have as well. Yeah, happy face killer.
It's a smiley face killer.
Okay, smiley face killer.
killer.
It's totally different.
We need to use
Totally.
Hey, okay, I got a dumb question for you. Is it illegal to hunt snowmen in Canada?
I've heard of it. Sounds like a
I mean,
fun
'cause-
sport, though.
I mean, because down here in the South, I get told I have a weird accent, so I lie and tell people I'm from Canada and that I'm not allowed to talk about why I'm not there anymore. And then it'll start questioning me, and it's like, it's because I'm a snowman assassin. So I'll tell people I'm the #1 snowman assassin in the Gulf Coast region. It doesn't snow down here
Love
very
it.
often, so you don't see any snowmen,
it.
so I do a really, really good job.
Of
So-
hiding your identity, yes.
Yeah, of hiding all the snowmen that I've killed. It's because you don't see them because I've killed them all. But in Canada, there's no
Yes.
way for me to kill all the snowmen. I was just wondering if it's illegal to hunt them up there.
You just melt them all away.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, at all the
No.
big events, they've started doing this thing where they have like the alphabet soup and all these different variations on themes and for the team building events. How do you feel about those at these big events, or should they just stick to the established 300 modern, silver, pulp?
Sometimes I do prefer, the established formats, but it's interesting sometimes to throw in something little with a twist.
I feel like if you can change gears like that, that just it shows your strengths as a player. So if you go, hey, I'm gonna go do this 4-letter word challenge, which we do at our venue once a year, where you build a team, 4 characters. You utilize the first letter in their name to spell a 4-letter word, and there are a lot of bad words that are 4 letters long. And you have to play your team with this restriction of these 4 letters. And you can have your sideline elements, but it's just these 4 characters. So I feel like if you could make a team with that, then hey, you can do your competitive with this minor restriction. So, and then change that and just go straight into 300 modern.
Like Alphabet Soup was fun. It was a fun little challenge. Like Devin and I went to Florida and we played in it as a team, and we knew everybody was going to pick S because that was the one that had the most things. So we specifically said we're not building with S, and we built with C instead, and we came in second with C. So we had fun with it. I got to play Collector and Colossus, right? So it was fun. Yeah.
How do you feel about time dilation Spider-Man?
Which one is that?
War of the Realms Chase, where you have to roll 3 dice and he picks the 2 dice that you use.
I tried to make something out of it, and it just wasn't good enough. But I enjoyed it, and I tried to do something with him.
I just let him stay on the map, and I'll mess with him. He's so
Yeah.
hard to hit. The super senses and
Yeah.
the Spider-Man team ability. It's just like, nah, you go over there. We're good. We're gonna kill everything else.
Well, now that we got
Yep.
the trio Spider-Man, they're swinging from the water tower, the colossal one. Now I'm going to use that in silver, and he can bring in a Spider-Man at 100 points or less, And Time Dilation Spider-Man is going to be one of those that I'm going to build with.
Spider Hulk is really good for it.
And Arachnite.
Spider Hulk, you have 2 stop clicks, so if you leave him out there until he starts hitting the stop clicks, you're fine.
Are you a big sealed player? Like when you go to events, do you play BRs and all that?
Too busy kicking ass.
Enjoy playing sealed. Like I love, team sealed is the best. But I always try and find time to fit in some BRs because I do enjoy them. And in fact, last year when I went to the Rock Cup, they had like some uh, they had an event on one of the first days. I think it was the Thursday. It was a smaller event, and I chose to not play in that event to do a BR day, and I was really glad with my decision. It gave me more time to socialize in between and talk to more people and pause and take breaks, and it was a really nice day to not be go 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 for the full day stuff. It was nice that that was an option.
Ooh, another question. When you're practicing, do y'all do a long day of practice, or is it just like 3 to 5 hours?
Yeah, just usually like 3 to 5 hours. We don't usually do the long day.
Oh, that long day gets you set up for the game day. As you know, it gets
It does.
8 hours plus. No food, no drinks. A little
Oh,
bag
no, I
of
bring
snacks.
snacks. I always
Little
bring
bag of
snacks.
snacks.
Always. People look at me crazy. I bring like, apple slices and baby carrots and granola bars and, cheese sticks with whole wheat crackers and things. I try and bring things that are a little healthy to keep me going throughout the day.
That was a big thing that when I did Red Right and Clicks last year, and I'm doing it again this year, is I make sure that there are free snacks and beverages available because I don't want people to have to pay $20 for a bottle of water, and I don't want anybody to get brain fatigue just from being hungry and tired and thirsty. So
You're already getting it from the events.
yeah. So I just make sure I have a full spread of beverages and snacks available for people, and it people really appreciate it. I thought that was a really cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the first things we do. Like if when we go to Worlds, a lot of times we'll get there on the Wednesday, and we'll go up to an Aldi or a Walmart or something, and we'll pick up things that are you know decent to have with us throughout the day, and that we're not And I'll pick up like some oatmeal packets and some yogurts to have a good breakfast in the morning before leaving the hotel room and not having to spend $30 at a breakfast buffet. And yeah, so we like to do things like that to have the snacks with us for the day. It's good.
If you roll 2 dice right now, is it coming up crit miss or crit hit?
Crit hits. Nobody likes to see my Avengers sixes.
Crit hits. I'm getting crit hits.
Do
One day.
it.
One
I
day.
don't believe you, Scott, but do it.
One day.
Is there anybody in the community that you've never played against that you would like to play against?
Yeah, I'd like to play Wes.
Yeah, US. But I've played like there's a lot of people I've played. I've traveled to quite a few events and have played quite a few people.
And there has to be more casual players than there are competitive players. There just has to be.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I would like to just. I really wish when I was in Cleveland that there was an event there, a place that played, because I would get off work at like 7, 8 o'clock in the evenings most nights. I would have still gone up to an event and showed up and just be like, hey, I want to play one game. Let's go. Somebody. Anybody.
I'm not going to lie. Starting Red, White, and Clicks was a little bit of a selfish endeavor on my part because it's very hard for me to travel to a lot of events for financial reasons and health reasons and stuff. And so I started my own event to make everybody come to me.
But then you're too busy organizing to play.
Yeah, that's a sad part. But this year I have Anthony Barnstable and Eli Becker and Jay Patel. They're all helping me out. So I'm going to have a lot more free time on my hands this year. Well, Emily, it has been great talking to you. I I think you are just one of the most delightful people in Heroclix. I love talking to you on Facebook and during the pandemic when we would play on Roll20. That was awesome. I just think you bring so much to the community. It's amazing. I thank you so much for talking to us and for everything you do in the community. You're just a delight.
That the positivity goes out there, I'm glad that it's received that way. So,
Do you have any final thoughts before we sign out?
blog sometimes, and if I go to big events, I like to blog about my experience there, and I usually do a round by round breakup, and you can find it on withemily.ca if you're interested in checking that out.
I'm sure there's one about our game of 100 plus turns.
There just might be. Yeah, I use it also as a journal for myself. I'll do month quarterly check-ins of like my brain is like a sieve, and I don't remember things. So I like a lot of the blogs is just okay. This is where I'm at with my mental health and my physical health, and these are things that have happened in the last few months. And then I can look back and say, oh yeah, that happened then, So it's not all about Heroclix, my blogging, but if I go to a big event, I will typically do a write-up about it. So,
I just saw something else. When you go to a big event, do you prefer to get the 300 Modern from beginning to end in one day or split it into 2 days?
Enough, I'm into doing it just in one shot. But it also depends how big it is. Like how many rounds of Swiss are we doing? Are we doing 4 rounds of Swiss, or are we doing 6 rounds of Swiss to cut to top 32? That's like 1 million. If it's that big, then splitting it up to do like top 16 the next day is better. But
You're not just brain mushed by the final round?
You'll be brain mush either way.
Either way, like I'd rather do things while they're fresh in my head, right?
Yep.
Because I'm not a morning person, so like to have to wake up and because round 1 is for practice, and you don't want like day 2 to be round 1 is for practice when it's cut. So
hey, if you're not a morning person, coffee is great for that. A lot better than tea.
no, never.
Scott, do you have any final thoughts?
No, just stay classy.
So everybody out there,
run Burgundy line.
Yep. So everybody out there, make sure
and don't forget to do your announcement too. You have your your thing.
Yep.
Your sponsored thing.
Heroclix is sponsored by Clix creator John Hoffner. He is developing all kinds of cool, unique stuff for a Red, White, and Clix event, and he will design you custom tokens, custom dice, custom cases. He does it on the same level of professionalism as everybody else at a fraction of the price. I think his cases right now are maybe a third of the cost of other people. So make sure you check out John Hoffner at Clix Creator. If you can think of it, he can create it. He just bought his 10 millionth 3D printer. He keeps upgrading it, getting more and more stuff. So he's got an addiction, but he's really good. And make sure you like and subscribe to all of our different platforms. We got Facebook, Patreon, Podbean, and YouTube. And make sure you check out Emily with JSA. And what else are you part of?
.ca.
Make sure you like and subscribe to those too. It does make a difference when we see those subscription numbers go up. Right now, Scott and I are at 63 followers on YouTube. And I talked to him today, and when we get to 100, we're going to do something real special. So let's get those numbers going. And for everybody else out there in Heroclix land, keep on clixing.
Keep on clixing.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
West Roses dreaming.